So yeah, 83, like the year I was born. So it's a really when in a time where we had like a historical moment happened in India. Yeah. So when we started 83, it was like it was a different challenge altogether for us. And we had like around 3,600 shot, and it's just not just the complexity to deliver a high-end VFX thing. It's the number of shot with the time we had. So delivering 3,600 shot, it needed like a lot of uh, you know uh, data to manage. The production was distributed into several part, where we used to do like some amount of 2D 3D, like how we were planning. The planning was very essential to deliver 83. So and if we when we started, the first thing we wanted to distribute the shot into easy 2D shot, complex 2D shot, and the same thing we distributed the CG when were like working with the CG stadium, face, then a crowd. All this thing was coming into. So we distributed the entire shot in the 3,600 plus shot into categories, and we made the team according to that. So there was more than 120 compositors working, and like 300 artists were working to deliver 83. So I have some of the clips. So rather I'm talking, rather I can show you some of the clip. A small oh, sorry. I'm just sharing. Uh, just a minute. So yeah. So this is like some of the shot that we took it for the reel of showing 83. What are the shot we did, and there is a after that there is a breakdown and how we produce those shots. So we will go shot by shot. I hope everybody can see the screen and the sound is there.
Yes, the sound
Yeah.
is there,
Sure.
but I think there's a bit lag. It's running a bit late.
Okay. Okay. Let me just check it once. Yeah. Hi. So yeah, this is the short that we did. I wanted to show you the breakdown before I can get in more in detail about how 83 was made, like was how it was planned in the post. So that will give a more clear idea. I mean, about when what are the type of shot we handle in Redefine. Hope everybody liked the video that we have like created as a breakdown. Hello, hello. Yeah. Did the video had like proper streaming or it was lagging? Uh,
It was fine. It was
okay,
fine.
great. Yeah. So yeah, we can go now like to about what was the the challenge that we had to deliver redefine. So if you see, there was a lot of shots which we had. We had CG stadium that we have to create the look of. I mean, that 83 where the structures and all where we have to create old London in the time. So we had some plate reference and all we downloaded, and then we started working um, on the structures. Then we had like a lot of challenges we had about making Ranveer Singh as Kapil. So we made a lighter scan and we created CG face to to make Ranveer, act like, because we had used a different character who was, doing a double for Ranveer. So we replaced his face.
Mr. Bharat, will you just stop sharing your screen? We can't see you properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Perfect.
Now, so there was, we had, we got the LiDAR scan, and then we wanted to do a complete CG face of Ranveer to make the action look proper, like a like how couple used to do, batting and bowling. And also we had like created those animation like which replicate actually couple bowling, like couple bowling, where we were just putting Ranveer into that. So yeah, that was one of the face challenge that we had. Then we had there was a lot of CG ball that we have to remove the original ball from the scan, from the shoot, and then we put it to make the action proper. Yeah, and then we have CG stadium. So we had like 4 to 5 stadium which we wanted to make the similar look as 80 in the time where it was there. London were there in 83. Uh, so those was another challenge that we created. Yeah, there was also 2D shot. Like there was 2D shot where we have to extend the crowd. We were extending the crowd, and there was we created CG crowd. Sometimes there was a lot of plate that was shot, so we distributed those shot, like where we can deal those shot on simple 2D shot, where we taken a crowd reference and put it on the extension. And then where we have like a lot of movement of camera, we created CG crowd, making replicating to the 2D thing. So the texture has to be the same, and we put the CG into it. Yes, yeah. So we can show you any question that I can just, we can just, it would be good to take some question so that I can explain it more better.
Okay, there's a
Yeah,
question in the chat
yeah,
box.
yeah.
Do you make use of virtual production at any point?
For 83, we didn't created virtual production, but it was like total shoot, and we did it in post. We didn't use much in as a virtual production there.
Okay. I also wanted to know, like, how many shots you have extracted from the cricket 1983 to be used in the production, like.
It was very less, because if you see some of the some of the shot which is there in the television, that was original shot, and otherwise it was all CG generated. We made it looking to that 83 environment. Um,
Okay.
so
So you
hardly
have.
we have used only the the footages in the TV.
Okay. So there are questions from an attendee. Uh, were you on shoot physically supervising the shoot, or was it an other on set supervising filming raw plates?
Yeah, there was, there was two supervisor who was there in the shoot, continuously, and then the raw plate is, we have done another supervisor went for the shoot to get those plate, depending upon the angles that we require. So yes, I was not there in the shoot, but I was there in the post production process.
Okay. So another question, bifurcation percentage of how much was virtually shot versus traditional green screen were there in the movie?
So it was it was a mix that I can tell, about, because there was 3,600 shot, plus shot that we have to do. So there was 40% we had shot in green screen, because we when it depending upon how how far we can take the shot towards. And we have used another 50% of the shot to be, we have shot really, and then we have shot practically, and we have extended it, putting some of the structures, old structures of London. So it was like 40 to 60%, like 40% were done complete CG, and the rest 60% was a CG come the practical shoot.
Okay, there's another question. Have you yourself composited any of these shots to set an example, look and feel for your team?
So it was the master shot. I mean, I was supervising the show, but I mean, not actually sat on the shot. Yes, but I've been helping to make that the look and feel it was the director was asking for.
Okay. So someone from the chat, they have asked, he has asked, how many 3D character assets did you have to create for the crowd scenes, and tool did you use?
So the crowd sim was generated, like, I mean, we can't, I mean, it's a very difficult thing about following the numbers. But yes, we created the crowd sim depending upon the actual footage. So we had some reference of the actual footage of those matches. So on that reference, we created the crowd. So there was some actual footages that was there as reference to us. So depending upon that, we created the crowd sim. So each and every matches has different crowd. If you see somewhere like in the stadium, somewhere in the ground, so it was the reference which we have taken and produced those crowd sim.
Okay, there's another question. How many days it took to capture the plates for the crowds?
Um, uh, I think we have taken a few months to do this, because I mean, sometime, I mean, if we saw that the some angles was not working, so we gathered those information and then we get shot. So it was done in two parts. So one was done straightforward, that looking into the scope of work, we made the plate. The second part was done according to the requirement of the post.
Okay, was there previous done for this film?
Yes, there was previews which was done on few short. Not entire show was done on through previous, but yes, the major part. I mean, how the shot is going to be. I mean, short, like all this thing. We have taken the reference of a previous.
So it was done after on-shoot edit, or something?
No, it was done previously with storyboard, and then we after the storyboard we got into some major shot which we require, additional homework that we did it through previous.
Okay, any more questions? Like, we are just almost end of the session. Which camera was used?
So there was multiple cameras, like there was no particular thing, because there was multiple cameras that we used, because we had like shoot for a long time. There was 3,600, there was more like 4,000 plus shot, as VFX and non-VFX shots. So there was multiple camera which was used.
Okay, someone asked whether broadcasting cameras too?
No, there was no broadcasting camera. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's it, I think. Any more questions? Okay, I don't see any more questions. I think that's it. If anybody has any more questions, you can definitely reach out to Mr. Bharat. He can drop the email address on the chat box. You can check it out. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Bharat, for giving us the time.